Is your offer dying or do you just suck? So Ali here asked a question in my WhatsApp group. How do I know when to jump ship from an offer and knowing the difference between if I'm not performing versus the offer itself not producing anymore? Good question. And if you want to ask questions directly to me, I have a free WhatsApp group for salespeople inside the high-ticket sales industry. Whether you're a sales leader, manager, whatever, just hit me up on IG and message me join. I'll send you the link. So now, is your offer dying or do you just suck? In this world, in this industry, in this business, if you want the most money ever for yourself, you will only achieve this through extreme ownership. If you hold yourself accountable to the high standards, is you want to have extreme ownership over everything that's happening in your life. So the first thing that you have to do is you want to audit yourself, okay? So the way that you audit yourself is you always want to make data-driven decisions. You don't want to be subjective. You want to be completely objective. If you have data, that's how you should build your confidence towards a certain decision, okay? So you want to look at the numbers. You want to look at historical data. You want to see your previous best months or the team's best months or your peers' best months. And then you want to benchmark those months against your months. And if you were the top rep and you were producing the most money then audit your past self to your current self. And if you're not the top rep and there's other reps who are better than you, then audit their best months versus your current month. And whenever I've done a deep dive, a deep audit, I've always found things that I could improve. No one's perfect. No system is perfect. There's just today I found a little text message going out to the leads that clicked on one of our lead magnets, and there's a weird text that's going out, and our tech person put in that text 2 months ago, and we're getting this text, and whenever we send that, we had a little bit of a higher no-show rate on our calls, and I just found that out, and that's because I was doing a deep audit of our sales process. Whereas if I didn't audit, I could have just blamed leads not showing up because of marketing intent was lower or whatever, or lead quality was worse. But the reality is whenever you audit yourself, you find the tangible, you find the data. You're not just depending on how you're feeling. Then you want to audit your activities that you're doing every single day, right? You want to check your process. Sales is such an interesting game where your energy plays a role. The way what you're thinking about plays a role. And then obviously it's also very systematic as well. What you're sending before the message, what they're seeing before the call. As a sales rep, you are a revenue generator. If a sales rep isn't producing revenue, the company is dying. Okay, and if you have leads coming through the door, then it's up to you as a sales rep to convert these leads as best as you can, and literally put your best foot forward. Then also be honest about your skill gap and see, okay, if you are doing all these things, you are at the top of this, you've audited the daily effort, you've audited the sales process, and everything is dialed in, but you're still not closing deals, it's probably skill set, right? Now, if you're doing all this, you think you're the best. Okay, now we can get into the territory of blaming the offer, okay? Now, this is assuming that, you joined a company that is vetted, that you've obviously joined the company because you're not working for some random scammer or something. So that's with that assumption. Now, when you want to audit the offer, this is what you want to look at, okay? Is the offer dying? Death happens through inaction. Death happens through indigestion. Offers and companies die because of lack of focus. And you can slowly see, what people's energy is being spent on. I think one of the bigger red flags is, okay, is the business owner living a lifestyle business? Does this person want to keep growing the business, or are they satisfied with where they're currently at? And you can tell this based on how they show up inside of the business every single day. Are they just living their life, having fun, taking all the money inside of the business and just pocketing it for themselves and not increasing ad spend, not increasing budgets, not hiring people as the company grows, then you're in a micro business with a founder who just wants to run a very lean team. Completely fine. Like, if there are some reps who would love to just be the only rep on an offer doing 150K a month because that's it. They don't have to worry about anything. Boom, they're making their money. They're collecting the check, right? Another red flag is if they say they're going to fix something, but they never do. If you guys give feedback based on what the people are saying, and they don't take that feedback. If marketing isn't doing anything new inside of the creative department, if they're not running new ads, if they're not testing new angles, if they're not refining their VSLs, their hooks, like, that's stagnation. If they're not having daily meetings, sales meetings or even leadership meetings, then think about it, right? A remote company, most people right now, they just have multiple different projects. And if there's no daily cadence happening or weekly cadence for leadership even, then slowly things just dwindle off and die. If, you guys bring problems in front of your leaders and they don't solve these problems with speed, right? Business loves speed. This can literally kill a business. Now, I also want you guys to know, at the same time, like one of these plaques I have over here, it was a company that we launched last year, and for about the entire 2025, we were stuck at this like 250, 400K a month place. And it wasn't because we were stagnating. We were actually showing up every day. We were constantly, increasing ad spend and then increasing, decreasing. We would hit some marks, but then we would, we would launch new offers, and we had to go through this like reinvention cycle 3-4 times until we found the right angle, the right offer, the right ICP. The price points were right. After like 3-4 cycles and changes, and then once we hit that, we hit 450, then we hit 850, right? And then we're gonna hit $1 million a month very soon. And so that took a year of us just like constantly going through this, like pushing this effort, this driving force nature. And a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of leaders don't problem solve like this. It's like a Rubik's Cube. You got to keep going. But if you stop playing the Rubik's Cube at a certain point, like, it's done. So just, I want to be balanced here. I want you guys to understand the perspective of an offer owner, a company, what the leadership actually has to go through to problem solve. It's not easy to scale a company. But I also want to, understand what you guys can always do. And as a sales rep, again, if the sales team is a bottleneck, you can very easily get to a very bad place where you're just blaming leads, blaming offers, blaming the company. But if you have extreme accountability and you audit yourself, your process, the sales process, you take extreme ownership of that. And then on the company side, like, if you guys can communicate with your leadership, with your management, be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I feel like the company isn't growing as quickly as it can. I came onto this offer because I really believe there's potential. But if there's something that you have to tell me, or if there's something going on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of, just remember, this is my livelihood and I really want to make it work. But if this is not the place for me to do so, just please give me the heads up. And you approach that conversation with respect to them, but also respect with yourself. Any good leader with a good head on their shoulder will tell you the honest truth of like what's going on behind the scenes. They'll share information that maybe you didn't have before, or they'll tell you bits and pieces that might hint towards you should probably jump off your offer. So hopefully this helps. Again, if you want more detailed breakdowns, direct access to me and a bunch of 300 plus other reps in the industry and leaders, DM me, join on Instagram, and I'll see you there. Peace.